What's up, everybody? I'm Simon Sabro, and today we got for y'all a manga main character tier list. So before we get into that, be sure to follow me on Instagram at Simon Sabro YT. Link for that will always be down in the description. Also, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all of that good stuff. Also, make sure you comment down how you felt about my tier list, what some changes you would make, who's your top 5 favorite protagonists, anything like that whatsoever. But with all that out the way, let's just jump right into it. Alright, so y'all could kind of see like the roster that we got lined up for the video. I know not everybody's favorite character gonna be on there. I just kind of like made a little list out of like the manga I own and some stuff off the top of my head and just kind of threw it on the list. But if your favorite character is not here, you're free to like comment down, hey, how do you feel about so and so? And I'll reply like what tier I'd put them in. But let's honestly get the list going. I don't. We'll just start from the top here. The first one we have is Hideo from I Am a Hero. Now for those of y'all that don't know, I Am a Hero is like one of my favorite manga of all time. My boy Hideo gonna go top 5. And also let me just kind of explain the tiers. I think they're kind of self-explanatory. Top 5, not perfect. Like they up there, but they not perfect. Like they just barely missing that perfect. We got mid, could be better, and then garbage. So that's the tiers. Like I said, we're gonna put Hideo top 5. Like I said, he is from I Am a Hero. I think the reason I put him up here, if anything, depending on how the list goes later, he might drop down to not perfect. But he is a character that in his story, he's just very human, if that makes sense. Like he's very realistic. He's not like Goku or like one of these like OP characters that just have it out for them. He's literally a regular guy with his own imperfections, very relatable dude. Despite his world being like more supernatural, very good character nonetheless though. Jolene Cujo, honestly, when I was making the list, I was looking at these JoJo protagonists and I was like, dang, I don't know where I'm gonna put them. I think I'd put Jolene in like probably in mid. I'm probably not gonna organize within the tiers, but she'd be in like high mid, just barely not perfect. Akane from Akane Banashi, honestly. So just for reference, like I said, she is from Akane Banashi, which is a fairly new Shonen Jump series. It's probably like a good 60-70 chapters in by now, but I'm probably like a good 10-15 chapters behind on it. So I don't know if in those recent chapters something might have changed to where she's like, top tier. But from what I did read, she's in the first arc of Akane Banashi, I would have put her in top 5, maybe not perfect. But I think after she kind of achieved her main goal, she's just kind of been okay. And she could definitely be a lot better of a character. Like I said, after the first arc of her series where she's like trying to get revenge for her dad technically, her character really like just turns into a hard worker after that, and nothing's wrong with that. I just feel like it could be better. Definitely. Asta from Black Clover, not perfect easily. I think as far as like, I don't want to call it new gen because Black Clover is like fairly old by now. But of those kind of newer shonen, he's definitely one of like the better ones. Not newer, but let's say like in his, I guess, generation or time frame, whatever you want to call it. He's definitely one of the better ones. And we do have Deku right here. Also, for both of these, I'm probably like a good 20-25 chapters behind. So there's just kind of keep that in mind. We'll put Deku in mid. I think Deku is just, he's all right. I really can't elaborate on it any further than that. He's just all right, honestly. Denji, I'd put in probably mid, but above Deku and above Jolene, actually. So yeah, I am going to organize these within the tiers. So we'll put Denji above Jolene. Denji, kind of for the same reasons as Hideo, where he's just, he has his goals. Very relatable character. He's perfectly fine. I think he's cool. But he's not Hideo cool and he's not Asta cool. Now, this one, I don't know if y'all actually know who this is, but he's Eiji from what's the name of it? My Dearest Self with Malice Afterthought. And I'll put him in top 5. Just to kind of give a little reference on it. So he's a character who has split personality between him and another character, of course, that's also himself, split personality. And the story is about a bunch of murders kind of start happening, and he kind of just blacks out. So during the time where the other personality takes over, there's murders happening and like other stuff happening. And so he's trying to figure out who his other self is and stuff like that. And it's a great story. I think it's like 90 something chapters, I think. And he's a very, very well written character. Whether we're counting the main personality or the other personality, they're both really, really good characters. And the fact that it's done so well, because the only other manga I know with a main character with multi-personality is MPD Psycho, which is also really good. Didn't put it on the list because it's not finished in English, and it probably never will be. Emma from The Promised Neverland could be better. Think she's fine. I think she's fine. I'll probably put her above Akane. Probably because The Promised Neverland is finished, so I've seen like all of her character. But I think she's fine. She definitely feels like an incomplete character, and that's just because of the way Promised Neverland is written, where her, Norman, and I think Ray, I think that's all of their names, I don't really remember, are like kind of one character. Like they're all supposed to work together and build off each other's strengths and weaknesses. So she's a very incomplete character on her own. Eren, we'll put him top 5. I'm not gonna lie, there's some other people here who I'd like to put top 5, and it's only 2 slots left, so I don't know how it's looking. But I don't think I really need to give much of an explanation for Eren. Yeah, Gabimaru the Hollow, not perfect. He's definitely a really amazing character. I don't know where the anime ended, but I know a season 2 got announced. But if you've read all of the manga, you know what I'm talking about. Like he's up there, and I think honestly just from the anime, like I said, I don't know where it ended, but I assume you probably got to know enough about him to where you probably would agree with me, honestly. Ganta from Deadman Wonderland. Honestly, it feels unfair now that I'm looking at to even put him on this list, because not Promised Neverland, Deadman Wonderland is a series, fun little story. I read this series like 3 times in the time I've owned it, and I can't tell you a single thing that's happened in it. Just to kind of be safe, we'll just put him in mid, I guess. We'll just put him in mid. Giorno, I'm honestly gonna put Giorno in could be better. He's very like unmemorable in my opinion. I think, and like a lot of other JoJo protagonists, the rest of their cast kind of carry them. I say a lot, but it's really just him and a couple of others on this list. As you can see, they're all actually like right next to each other. Honestly, we'll go through them right now. Jonathan Joestar, garbage. I'm sure that in the time part 1 came out, he was a fantastic character, but he just didn't age well. Joseph Joestar, I'll put him in mid. He's okay. He's a fun character. And this is only like part 2 Joseph, just for reference. I don't want to include part 3 and technically part 4, because I feel like I'd have to adjust it way too much. But just part 2 Joseph, we'll put him in B tier. Or not B tier, but mid tier. Josuke, I'll put in not perfect. I think he's actually, Johnny is the best written Joestar. I haven't read part 8 yet, so I can't speak on that. But Johnny will put up there, honestly. A little bit of bias because part 7 is also my favorite part. Josuke, like I said, I also put in not perfect. Jotaro, I'm also gonna put in garbage tier. And just for reference, I don't know if it's any different, but parts 1, 2, and 3 I only seen the anime of, never read the manga, so That's where my bias is coming from. Jotaro is very lackluster in the anime. He just doesn't talk. He just fights. It's like if Saitama just didn't talk at all, kind of. Goku, I'm gonna put Goku in mid tier. I think he's fine. Um, Also, I think Dragon Ball Super really like killed his character. Honestly, like if it was just Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Goku, I'd probably put him not perfect. Dragon Ball Z, I think I'd still put him in not perfect. But I think Dragon Ball Super kind of like brings his character down for me, to mid tier, because I feel like a lot of his character development, like Dragon Ball Super Goku. Oh, I just hit my mic. I'm sorry. I don't know if y'all could hear that, but Dragon Ball Super Goku is like if you took all the stereotypes of Goku and made that his entire character. That's what Dragon Ball Super really feels like. Guts top 5. I don't think I need an explanation, and let me kind of order these out. Yeah, I don't think I really need an explanation for Guts to be top 5. I would hope that you know already. Ichigo, we'll put in mid above these guys though. And that is a bit of bias because I like Bleach. Bleach is my favorite shonen. Yes, that's a bit of bias. Kafka, Hibino. Once again with this one, I'm a good amount of chapters behind. I think he's fine. I think he's a perfectly fine character. Kind of like Eren, but without the world destruction revenge scheme kind of going on. I think Kafka is fine. Kaneki, I want to put him top 5, but I kind of want to save that spot for somebody else. But we'll put him in top 5 just for the time being. I also once again don't feel like I need to explain that. This is I don't know if you guys know who this is, but this is Kasuga from the Flowers of Evil. Really good character. I think I'd put him at the bottom of not perfect. And reason for that is he's mostly a very, in my head I describe it as a push and pull character, whereas I can't think of like a good example off the top of my head. Kind of like Ichigo actually. I would say Ichigo is another push and pull character, where the other characters in the story make him do things, and the things that he does define his character. For example, like going to Ichigo specifically, Ichigo doesn't do anything to like progress the story forward himself. It's usually the villain does the first thing and then kind of like makes him have to react, and that's what Kasuga is. But Kasuga is, I guess, done way better than Ichigo in that sense, mostly just because of the type of story it is. Because if you haven't read The Flowers of Evil, go read it. That's like another one of my favorite manga. And Kasuga really, like, as a protagonist is, for one, I think the setting is like middle school, and Kasuga has like kind of no real sense of self, and so he's, like I said, just kind of pushed and pulled by all of these women in his life. That's kind of his character. I think he does a great job at it. Next we have Ko Yamori. I think that's his last name, from Call of the Night. We'll put in could be better. I think he's okay. I haven't read volumes 11 and 12 yet, so things might have changed since the end of the previous arc. I'm not really sure, but by the end of the previous arc, I'd put him in still could be better. I think he has a lot of room to grow. And I think that Nazuna has been getting flushed out a lot more, in that recent arc. Specifically, I think the arc starts around like volumes 5 through 10, kind of around that range. Light Yagami, not perfect. Mostly because I don't have space in top 5 anymore. But also I feel like it's between him or Eren. And I think Eren is a lot better written than Light, because they kind of have like the same pattern, I guess, or flow of character. Okay, so I didn't know what to put here. There was another character I had here earlier that's not here anymore, but I had Lloyd here, and I also had Anya somewhere. I don't know where she went. I think I probably just didn't download the picture. But I'm gonna put Lloyd in the garbage tier, and it's a little bit of like Spy Family dislike for me, if I'm being completely honest. He's not like once you've seen Lloyd do one thing, you've seen him do everything. um I don't know how to explain it better than that, but that is quite literally what it is. Like, he did one thing and he's done everything. um he doesn't push the story forward. I mean, honestly, just the story of Spy Family, story, if we can even call it that, honestly, of Spy Family, is just very like one note. And I had Anya on here too, because I don't know which one of them is like the actual main character, but I probably would have put Anya in could be better. I mean, she works for her story, so I'd probably put her in not perfect, just like relative to the story, but relative to the other characters on this list, she'd probably be in the garbage or could be better tier. Mash from Mashal. Once again, this is a character where, like, in his story, he's a great character, but his story doesn't really warrant a good main character. I think he's mid. Like, I'd put him in could be better, but I can't even think of a way to make him better. Like, he just fits his story perfectly. So I'm gonna just put him in mid. Yeah, I'm gonna just put him in mid. I think he fits his story perfectly. I forgot his name. The dude from Platinum Man, Mirai, garbage. Honestly, I don't know why I put this on the list, if I'm being entirely honest. Muto Ashirogi, not perfect, but I think it's because it's two characters. I decided to count them as two instead of separate, because they're kind of like, for example, like Emma. And I guess thinking about it, was a little unfair of me to do, because I should have probably counted Emma with Ray and Norman. If I did, they would also be in not perfect. But Muto Ashirogi will go into not perfect, like I said, kind of because it's two characters who are both really well written. But I think the fact that it is two characters makes it a little unfair. Naruto, we'll put in not perfect. I think of like the classic guys here being, you know, Naruto, Ichigo. I don't have Luffy here because I've never read One Piece. And Goku, I think Naruto's the best written out of all of them. But I wouldn't put him any higher than this, like within the tier. Maybe I'd put him above Josuke. No, debatable. Pun Pun, top 5. That's 5 up here. I promise. Don't look at it too hard. That's 5 up here. Pun Pun, top 5, definitely. Ray from Gigant will go into the garbage tier. Garbage tier, but better than these guys. Honestly, better than all of these guys. But he'll also go into the garbage tier. Jonathan at the, no, we'll put him at the bottom. But this is Rio from Boys Run the Riot. Honestly, yeah, that looks about right. Rio from Boys Run the Riot. And I think it's mostly like the nature of the story that kind of makes me, you know, put them a lot higher up on the list. And just how unique it is. And for one, I've just never seen a character like Rio before. So it's a little bit of bias in that. If you haven't read Boys Run the Riot, go read it. It's great. Really good story. Saitama, I'm going to put Saitama in mid. Actually, I kind of want to put him in not perfect. But I think Saitama is a character where, like, he's not the main character for real. Like, I feel like all of the other side characters. Okay, how do I put this? Like, Saitama took a backseat, and all the other side characters just got like pushed forward into being more well written, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like all of the side characters in One Punch Man have their own lives. Like, they all feel like they could have been the main character, but Saitama just happened to be the main character. I think I'll put him in not perfect and leave him there. Senna from Ice Shield 21, also not perfect, but I'll put right there, honestly. Yeah. I think I'm fine with that. I think I'm fine with that. Senna is a really good character. Ice Shield 21 is also just a really good series. And Senna really fits that, especially as the series progresses and you watch his growth. And you see him just kind of actually start to enjoy football and want to help out his team and make friends, make enemies, all that stuff. Senku, I'm gonna put in mid. I think Senku's a fine character. He's just kind of like cracked for his world. I think he's just a fine character. Actually, I'm putting him pretty high up here in the mid tier, but he's fine. I think he is just mid. Yeah, well, I forgot this guy's name. But the main character from Summertime Rendering. We'll also put in mid. He's a really good character. Actually, yeah, he's a really good character. Let me lower Joseph a bit. Yeah, we'll leave him right there, I guess. Takamichi from Tokyo Revengers. Well, honestly, I think I might put him in not perfect. I think I'll put him in not perfect, not above Naruto. Nah, not above Naruto. And that's probably nostalgia keeping Naruto right there. Takamichi's a fine character. And this is me. I have read the ending of Tokyo Revengers, but this is me kind of like excluding that. But I think Takamichi is a fine character. I don't know how to say this without it sounding dumb, but I think more so the writer ruined his character, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. Tanjiro from Demon Slayer. Could be better. So just for reference, I am pretty much an anime only when it comes to Demon Slayer. So I don't know any character development he gets outside of the sword village, the hidden sword village, whatever it's called. After that season, I really don't know like anything about Tanjiro's character. So could be better, because it quite literally could be better. Because like I said, I haven't read any of the manga. I don't plan on reading the manga, so don't tell me to go read the manga. Tenma, top 5. Yeah, top 5. Yuji, I think Yuji, I don't know if we'd still consider JJK new gen, but I think Yuji's one of the better characters. And that is counting both Yuji and Sukuna as one character, because then I would probably have to consider Eiji as 2 separate characters, even though it gets a little complicated. But we'll count Yuji and Sukuna as one character. And I might even put him above Asta, actually, because I'm counting him that way. Akira from Zom 100 is pretty garbage. He's all right. He fits the story. But he kind of has the same problem that Lloyd has, in the fact that they don't, like, the story isn't meant to progress in that type of way. So the characters kind of like suffer for it. And this is, I think, Asa from Chainsaw Man. I think that was her name. I do like her more than Denji, so I'm gonna just put her above Denji. But that is pretty much the list. Actually, no, let me go through and actually make this a top 5 here. Hold on. Guts is staying, Eren stays, Kaneki stays, Tenma stays, Pun stays. Okay. So these guys are gonna have to drop then, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Yeah, so that's the final list. Once again, comment down how you felt about the list. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at SimonSabroYT. Link for that will always be down in the description. Once again, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss an upload, all of that good stuff. Also, let's give a quick shout out to our channel members. Thank you guys so much for your support. It makes my day. I appreciate it so much. You guys don't even know it. But that's pretty much it for the video. Yeah, that's it. This is Simon Sabro signing out. I'm gonna catch you on the next one.